So every morning, either Blue or I messages one another first. And we always say good morning. And then we always add some kind of random food. So good morning, sunshine, pancakes, and orange juice.
With bacon on some.
With bacon. Yep. You can't forget the bacon. And it only ever gets weirder, which is like one of my favorite parts of every day, which is weird. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Oxymorrons today. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Mostly everyone just needs a little dose of rock and roll. And these guys bring it. So BRB, share this out to everyone. Yep.
Just to help make today better, medium for him to.
We culture. Rap the new rock and roll. We the real rock stars, and I'm the biggest of all of them.
Turn it up. Trust me, just turn it up.
See, yeah, that green vision. Yeah, that green. Niggas been raging like never before. Oscar the Grouchy, we all getting trash. Pass me the flash, don't listen. We in the future, but keeping the mask on. That green vision. We in the cage, I ain't talking about clan. Hope niggas dodging, ain't talking about ranch. Flame so native, they sleep in the land. Keeping the peace in the pipe and the grand. That green, like it's so cold, Agent 45, that guy's a no. Too big getting dry, he needs some soul glow. Watch him out when you're talking to grown folk. Yeah, that green vision. Yeah, that green, fuck what y'all talking about. That green vision. I'm the only one y'all talking about. That green vision. That green. I'm with a rock right now. I'm with a Martian star with the crowd right now. I'm with a rock right now. I'm with a Martian star. I'm with a rock right now. I'm with a Martian star with the crowd right now. I'm with a rock right now. I'm with a Martian star. What y'all talking about? That green vision. I'm the only one y'all talking about. That green vision.
I mean, that's just good stuff.
Well, you know this the secret sauce is because I was talking to Dave Bellevue yesterday. He's the band leader. Just a really remarkable guy, sharp,
Agreed.
Savvy business mind on top of it all. He was telling me about their live shows, and from what I gathered, their secret sauce is their live shows. And I can't wait to see them live. And I think they've got like 100 tour dates this year, starting off, and they're playing the biggest festivals in the world. Opening up for some of the biggest rock acts in the world, alternative acts in the world. So it's going to get fun because we're along for the ride with them the whole way, managing the touring NFT component to that.
I think they're going to join us a little bit later. That's what we had the word on, so that's pretty cool. But I like it just because it's, everyone has their own interpretations, especially of their own art. But I just like the fact that this is like pretty much the first thing that we did with YoshiDrops, and it's the green vision. And Yoshi's thing is like, we're going to plant like 2 million trees. And like they're two totally probably different ideologies, but they both are very green visions. And it's iconic to me that that's where we started.
Amen. Well said.
Yeah. I never thought of it like that, right? The title of the song, Green Vision. Plus the Yoshi green vision, right? They're, they're kind of definitely overlapping.
Yep. And blue.
I'm grateful for Oxymorrons.
I'm grateful we have our shot.
Nice.
Yep. Not everyone gets it. We're totally sitting right in it, which is pretty fun. Jimmy, what are you grateful for? And by the way, anybody else in the comments, if you feel like getting a gratitude up, feel free to throw it up. I might throw it up there.
I'm grateful for hashtag NFT music videos.
Nice.
And I'm also grateful to introduce you all to D. Thank you and welcome.
Hey, how you doing? How you guys doing? How's everyone?
How are you, man?
Great.
Good. Just getting up, getting my life together. And normally I'd be at Muay Thai training, so I'm just after this I'm gonna go to Muay Thai training.
Nice.
All right. That's some hardcore rock and roll. Hey, so we have this little tradition that we do every morning that we do this, D, where we just ask everybody who comes on the show what they're grateful for, and then we throw them up on these signs. It's gonna live here forever.
That's awesome.
Big, small, doesn't matter. What are you grateful for?
Life. Just I'm grateful for the universe and just life, just being here. Mere presence alone is just amazing.
Nice. So D, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. And then we got Nathan Loves the Answer on the line as well. But D, we just got done playing Green Vision.
Hey.
It's we were just talking YoshiDrops. We started out with NFTs that produce oxygen. So a large percentage of 100% of the secondary market from the million NFTs that we pushed out there. 100% of those secondary sales go to planting trees in the world. So we have a green vision as well of planting trees, of producing oxygen, NFTs that produce oxygen. We've raised over $32,000 in the last less than 5 weeks going towards this green vision, planting of trees. And so it's interesting. We just played the music video, Green Vision, which is completely badass, and I cannot wait to see you guys live.
Thank you.
So tell us, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey.
I'm D, or Demi, you might see it depending on what you're reading, if it's a bio or something else. And I'm one of the co-frontmen of the Oxymorrons. I don't know, we like to call ourselves, they like to call us rap rock, but we're really just hybrid. We kind of do whatever we want to do. And rock and rap is normally in it. We've been grinding. We've been in a space of just changing. We want to change how music feels. We want to change a lot of the barriers and a lot of the things that come along with music. And so we created this entity which is shaped around the concept of a band, although ours is very different. And we called it the Oxymorrons. We called it the Oxymorrons because an oxymoron is normally two things that wouldn't normally go together, but then they make sense. So when you hear our music, it's kind of that kind of a thing where things that you wouldn't normally put together in music or wouldn't normally hear going together, we make it make sense. And our one rule as a band, as far as when we're creating anything musically, is if it feels good, sounds good, it is good.
I like it. Yeah. So, your personal, I guess, how would you, because there are so many different flavors of music styles in there. Like what kind of bands would you say, I was in a rock band 20 some odd years ago, right? It's called Venus Pumping. And we, people would classify as kind of, if you mixed the Doors with, the Chili Peppers, that's kind of like the vibe, right? So like give us some of the vibe essence of Oxymorrons.
A vibe essence of Oxymorons is if we would normally say to someone who would be new hearing us would be like if Rage Against the Machine, NERD, and Outkast was in the same band. that's what Oxymorrons would be like and feel like in any given moment. So we think that those are the three entities that kind of like give the best definition of our sound. Although we've heard it all, like Mick Rock, who's like a really famous rock photographer, Mick Rock, he came to see us at the Knitting Factory in New York and told us we reminded him of Bowie. I think it's because of our song Padded Sky and another song we got, I Feel Better. But he just loved that aspect. So to get some of the references we got have been crazy. Jack Saunders from the UK, who runs a show on BBC One, he compared us to the Beastie Boys. so that was interesting. So we got, because we dive in a lot of things. You might hear metal, you might hear punk, you definitely hear some hip hop, you'll hear some R&B vibes. We even got like on the new project, we got something that has like a Latin kind of rock vibe to it. Like, so we really, really mix everything. There's nothing we can't touch because we believe music is frequency, and as long as you get those frequencies tight, you be all right.
Yeah. Well,
it's
and
funny, we were just talking about Rage Against the Machine, but I never even put two and two together until you brought it up. Now that you mention it, I totally hear some NERD in there as well. Like, I wouldn't have. It took somebody to say it, but totally.
NERD really, hearing their stuff really made us believe that we can do what we do. And obviously you got like stuff like Hybrid Theory. We're huge fans of a lot of stuff. Like my favorite all-time band is Queen. Like Freddie Mercury is the god of all frontmen, in my opinion. And it's just kind of, we're kind of been like, and I get that stuff from my dad and my older brothers and stuff. Like they like really, really put us on to so much music. Like it's really ridiculous the kind of music that like we listen to. Like we are like your playlist before playlists existed.
Wow.
Nice.
So what was your personal path in music? Like where did you start and how did you start?
Shit, that's well, first it was just kind of like freestyling with my friends and bullshitting and really just learning shit. And my dad, he plays keyboard and a whole bunch of other instruments and stuff like that. So I would always be with him, like listening to music. Like one of my favorite memories is him explaining Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling video to me, like, because it made no sense. And then like I learned chord progressions from Billy Joel, Uptown Girl, like stuff like that. Just learning. And then started a rap group when I was really, really young. That was trash. This is actually a funny joke. My first rap name was The Riddler. Because I was a huge Batman fan and riddles and raps, and it kind of made sense, but it didn't. But I went out the window with that one. And then then that just kind of progressed into like getting into like really understanding music. It was funny, we never went to really a music school. My mom wouldn't let me. My dad is like, so my mom is educational and my dad is like the music guy. So my dad, when we wanted to do music, my dad is like, yeah. And then my mom's like, no, you gotta be a lawyer. So for a while it was like that's where I was being pushed. So there was always that battle to it.
No, you know what you said? No, mama, I'm gonna hire the lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. It took a while to get there. I actually went to school and finished my degree for law, and then I told my mom, this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna go out and do it. I did what you wanted me to do. Here's the degree you wanted.
Wow.
And then Oxymorrons. Then we went full throttle into starting that. I was in another band called Chemistry, another group called Chemistry first. That actually did really well, and then that fizzled out, and I actually wasn't going to do music anymore. I was kind of over it. I was like, yeah, I'm done with music. If you've ever been in the music business, you kind of know why. And then it was my younger brother who's in the band with me, Ki. He was just like, dude, no. He was like, you can't not do music, and you're too good at it. And then we were just like, he was just like, let's do something together. And because everyone's always asked us to do something together, and then what we formed is what you see. It was the Oxymorrons.
Wow. Yeah, it's really, really fascinating. You you guys are, as talking yesterday, and it's really come, to to my knowledge and understanding, that you guys totally tear it up at your live concerts. Like that's your superpower.
Oh
live.
yeah.
Can you tell us, bring us there, bring us to one of your favorite shows, like where was it? And what does it feel like? Bring us into that.
Shit. I can tell you about, I remember the first time we realized that we had like an effect that just kind of gravitates people to you. There was, we call it the zombie effect. We got booked for, it was a festival in Houston, and we hadn't played Houston yet, and we hadn't really had a fan base, so we wouldn't know like what was going to happen. And he gave us an early slot, and we jump out on this early slot, and we pride ourselves on our live show. Like we had a live show before we had like a body of work to give anyone. Like we were getting tour offers before. Like I remember our first tour with Luke, we opened up for Lupe Fiasco, and and fans were like, yo, y'all put on that show and y'all don't have no merch, no CDs, no nothing, because we didn't even think of that. We were just thinking of playing this show. So you had nothing to leave with but the memories of this experience. So yeah, fast forward years later, we're at this festival in Houston, and no lie, we call it the zombie effect. We normally say it's almost impossible for you to not like us by the time you hear our second to third song. And that's the zombie effect, where it was just like, hey, we started playing with no one in front of us. By the time we hit our third song, it was a sea of people in front of us. And that's kind of like a thing that happens in festivals and new markets for us. Like we're never afraid to go into a market and go like, yo, you know what? Let's just get it. So that festival, that festival in Houston was like the mark of like, oh, okay, like we are really good at this. We're far away from home, and people who could give two shits still jumped out and was like, wow, and lost their shit. Watching people go ape shit who's never heard of you before is the wildest experience in the world. You kind of sit there and go, like, I remember being on stage and everyone's wilding in the crowd, and I'm like, and in my mind, and I think I almost said it out loud into the mic, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts. So it's kind of like started the journey. And then from then on, our live show just kind of carried us and opened every door for a while. And then we started working with Jason from Fever 333 and a couple other people with the rec situation. And we started getting the sound to match what you feel in studio live. And that's where you're hearing like Justice and Green Vision. They just sound monstrous because we're in a new space of we finally figured it out. When you're blending all these genres, there's a science to it. And at first it was, I wouldn't say it was kind of by mistake. It was more like, oh shit, we just putting things together. And now it's extremely intentional. Like every piece, every sound, everything is really intentional. We know exactly what we're doing and how we want it to come out.
Wow. Now, you've got a lot of tour dates coming up. What are you most looking forward to?
Shit, I don't know. We got so much shit that is just like, and shit that I'm really, really excited about. There's one tour we haven't even announced yet. That I can't even say, and I wish I could, but it's locked in and it'll be announced soon. But it's just like, holy shit. But I'm stoked for Riot Fest in Chicago, because that was a festival we've always wanted to play, and to tell you the truth, didn't think we were even big enough right now to play it. When the offer came through, our minds were blown. Like, what? Did we just get offered Riot Fest? You got to be fucking kidding me. And also Aftershock. I'm gonna be excited for Aftershock, because it's just that festival has like some of the biggest rock bands ever, like Metallica, like Slipknot. I think who else is on that? The Misfits are on that with the original lineup, which is wild as fuck. Like, so being next to these names have been insane, I would say. But that's the two. I'm actually super excited for this, because we haven't done this before. We're playing Shiprock, and it's like a metal cruise. Nice. Which is so wild. Yeah, it's like 5 days you going through Mexico, and you stop in like Tulum and like wild shit, and it's like a metal cruise. It's like us, Pierce the Veil, Lamb of God. Like it's so wild. And for like 5 days we'll be on this cruise raging. Wow. and that happens in January, I believe. But I'm stoked for that, because A, never been on a cruise, and B, have never played on a cruise.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be doing two things I've never done before. So that'll be cool, and be able to hang out with some of our favorite bands, and that's one of the coolest things. Like being able to like really, really chill and get to know guys and bands that we just grew up listening to, or like just admire what they do. That's been awesome.
That's amazing. Hey, you know, I got a couple more questions, and I'm going to pass the baton to my teammates here who would love to engage with you, D. One question is, you know, can you kind of give us like who's in the band and kind of, you know, their names, a little bit of snippet about them, and you know what their superpower is?
All right, so there's Ki, which is my brother. Which is my brother. He's the dude with the taller black dude with the beard. His superpower is having the ability to come up with chorus melodies like no tomorrow. I'll never, because even a good story for Ki is Green Vision started out as a song called Vision, and we took the best part of Vision and recreated an entirely new song. And we did that over and over in waves until you hear what you hear. And then one day we were in the studio, and my brother just like, yo, we weren't like sold on Vision's chorus. And he just walks in and goes, yo, I got this other hook, and turn on the mic. And we turned everything on, and Green Vision.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, it's so that's kid's superpower. Outside of being the biggest teddy bear in the world, he's a really nice guy. He's 6'4". He's not a small guy by any means at all. But really a nice guy. And yeah, he loves gaming. He has his own streaming network. His name is Kami Divine Gamer. So he's always on this stuff. Always trying to get me to do stuff like this, but I'm always in the background trying to chill. And then there's Maddie, and Ki does vocals also with me. Like he's a vocalist and a singer. Maddie is our drummer. Maddie is the wild boy. He's also a gamer. He's actually ranked in what's that shit that he played that I refuse to play with him anymore because it's no longer fun. Smash Brothers. He's ranked in Smash Brothers, and it's not fun playing with him because it's just not fun. Like, you know, when you're perpetually losing.
Yeah. And
it's just like, yeah, okay, forget this. I didn't play this just to come and lose to you for 2 hours. That's not a fun hangout. So, and Maddie's our drummer. Maddie, cool story with Maddie. Maddie used to be an intern at one of the first management companies that attempted to manage us. And our older drummer ditched out on us before a show, and we just needed someone to replace him. And this was very, very early on. And Maddie at the time was the intern that was put onto our project. And we're in this meeting going, hey, we need a drummer. We're kind of smoked right now. And Maddie's like the dude who's like running around, get gummy bears or whatever bullshit we needed at the time. Rose his hands like, listen, I play drums. And we're like, what? It's like, fuck it.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he plays drums like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, he tried. He's like, I play drums. Oh no. You play drums. Like, it was crazy. And it was just like, so we gave him 7. He learned 7 songs in 3 days.
That's awesome.
And played a live show with us and destroyed it. And he's just and he went from intern to in the band.
Wow.
Right in time for us to go on tour with Gym Class Heroes. It was really, really cool. So it was like, so that's Maddie. And then we used to have 2 other players, and I will mention them because they were staples until about Joe was 2018, and Adam was 2019. Joe, we used to be our bassist / guitarist. He's an animal. I've known that dude for a while, and he's from Philly. He used to come in and play with us. But then he actually, right before a tour in 2018, he had kidney issues and had to go into dialysis and stuff like that.
Oh,
and he needed a transplant, so he couldn't no longer play with us. So we trimmed that down. And good thing Joe now has his replacement, and he's in recovery from surgery, so it's awesome. So that update from 2018 and now he finally got his kidney replaced. So you might see Joe again as long as he's healthy enough to play. And then there's Adam November, who another guitarist that we had who was playing with us. He went to school with Maddie. They both did the Clyde Davis program at NYU. Those dudes. And so I have to mention those dudes. Adam's no longer playing with us. He went into another band. But those guys like helped shape a lot of like what you see and what you would hear earlier on. And then last but not least, Jaffe was one of the final additions to the band. And Jaffe was a homie of mine, sent me a video of him playing, and I was like, oh shit, this dude's dope. And we were looking for a guitarist anyway. So I just hit him up on Instagram, like, yo, bro, this is dope. And he happened, like, he's been in the underground music scene for a while. So we had a lot of similar friends. We met up at a coffee shop, chopped it up for like 2.5 hours, and he's been in the band ever since.
Wow.
And yeah, he plays guitar, bass, a little bit of drums, and he can also sing and write. So like we're all kind of like very, very versatile and what we can do and how we deliver it. Yeah. So that's us. That's our wild ass band.
Hey, tell us about this whole NFT thing, right? I mean, it's just kind of blowing things up.
This is wild. Like this is wild. I woke up and started seeing the emails and the messages from Yoshi, and I to tell you the truth, even right now, I still don't believe this. This is crazy. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, is he serious? I thought, even when we were on our call, Mike, I'm like, this is for real. This is real. This is really, really happening. This is, and like, what? And I've had friends who like spoke to me about NFTs and stuff like that. And like, one of my friends who does a lot of art, he does really well in the space. But it was just something I never thought would like mean anything if you're a musician like that. Like, what is that? Huh? I'm like, I'm not really, we make graphics and stuff like that for shit we need, but I don't consider myself an artist that should be selling anything on that in any art form other than music. That's the only thing I know that we do well. And so when you guys came with the opportunity, I was just like, what do we have to lose? Let's and that's another thing about us. We've always gone left. Like left of center is always our shit. So we're like, this kind of matches who we are anyway. Like and then like art and weird shit going into tech shit, and that sounds like an oxymoron in itself. And NFT is literally an oxymoron that shouldn't exist, but it works. And, and so my mind is blown.
You know, I'm super excited because, you know, we got our left big toe out of the gate, right? And we're already doing some pretty phenomenal things. So I'm really excited about the NFT touring model that we've all come up with, and running with a new touring model for the whole world to view and see, and using Oxymorrons as kind of like the bringer of the new, right? Because touring artists, they don't really have a perpetual royalty model that works, right? They're selling T-shirts and tickets, right? And then they got to give a big percentage of that away.
Yes.
So
your label,
this
your,
is gonna,
your lawyer, everyone.
This is gonna add a whole nother level of revenue for bands, and I'm so excited that Oxymorrons is just going to be the flagship, right? To show the way shower to the world. But with that being said, we've got digital vinyls, Oxymorrons digital vinyls dropping today in all memberships accounts, and I think Jimmy's got those up. It's like a 1.5 minute long preview of what will be dropped in today's accounts.
I actually have it up, and I just picked the wrong effing screen. Motherfuckers.
I mean, while you pull that up, though, I just think it's cool that like you guys are already doing better than most bands, because you get to save the lawyer costs because you can be your own lawyer. So that's pretty sweet.
Nailed it.
Nah, we still got that. I can't. I let the lawyers do what the lawyers do. I can comb something really quickly and be like, oh, this raises a red flag before I can see something if like before we need to send it to a lawyer. So it'll be like, wait a minute, yeah, let's not. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now before I send this to my lawyer and he red tapes the shit out of this. These are already red flags. So I'll let you know off that. So that yeah. So on that note, yeah, I guess we save a little bit. Yeah, you know, lawyers are still expensive as fuck.
Can confirm. All right, check this out.
Oh shit. And that shit's cool. Holy fuck. Damn.
Oh, we don't hear the audio, bud.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
well, maybe the audience does. I don't. but
No, you should be able to hear it.
okay.
I can do this again.
Yeah, we weren't hearing it. So.
Yeah,
But,
sorry,
I mean,
guys. Don't
it's
make
funny.
me listen to this 100 more times. Seriously. Like, I'm a little obsessed. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, this song is almost hitting the stratosphere of like, I can't hear this hook anymore.
I wanna rock right now. I wanna march and stomp with the crowd right now. I wanna rock right now. I wanna march and stomp. I wanna rock right now. I wanna march and stomp with the crowd right now. I wanna rock right now. I wanna march and stomp. I got style. I got brain. Feel my pain. Fuck my pain. Fuck this shame. Fuck this game. Well, it's now going see. Yeah, that green. That green vision. Yeah, that green. Niggas been raising like never before. Oscar the Groucho, we all getting trash. Pass me the flash, throw me the sand. We are the future, but keeping the mask on. We are the case, I ain't
This
talking
was
about
ridiculous.
It's
full of shit.
They the land, keeping the peace in the pipe and the grand. That green, like it's so cold, Agent 45, that guy's a no. Too big eating, try, he needs some soul glow. Watch your mouth when you're talking to grown folk. Yeah, that green.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, we had too much fun doing that video. And that video is shot so guerrilla. Like we just went into into Queens and just like into my old neighborhood and just shot. No permits, no nothing in these streets. We had cars spinning around us. We didn't give a shit. Jaffe got hit by the car. Car was doing donuts in one scene and spun out of control, hit Jaffe off the amp. Like it was, that's all like, that wasn't staged. Like when people see that in the video, that was not staged. That shit happened and I had a heart attack. We're like, did we just kill Jaffe?
Oh no.
Just lost my favorite guitarist.
Oh man.
That's interesting to me because like when Corey played it the first time and there was no music attached. I remember when you were talking about the backstory earlier about, the drummer and like, how he raised his hand, and said, I can do this. I did actually watch it once without like any vocals, just because I do weird stuff like that. And I like there was just this guy drumming in like what looked to be like the back room of a supermarket. And I was just like, that's really good. Like he looks like he's really good. So that story really mixes. And then the other weird thing for me that like just resonated was like, I've always wondered where that sandwich came from in that video. So some guy just walked onto the set with it, and you guys were just like, "Yeah, let's keep it."
No, that's literally one of the best questions ever because that's funny because that's bodega. We're in my neighborhood bodega. We asked the owner of the bodega since we known him all our lives, like, yo, can we always wanted to have a rock drum scene inside a bodega. So that's literally in a corner store bodega. And so the sandwich is a bacon, egg, and cheese from that bodega.
That's awesome.
So that we bought that morning, like on some breakfast shit shooting. So we were literally 8 in the morning wailing in that place, and he didn't even close the bodega. There were like people coming in, like thinking this was a concert. People getting in. One little kid tried to get in the video. It was nuts. It was so much fun. It was so crazy. So people were just like walking up to get their morning sandwiches and coffee, and we're shooting a full fucking music video in the bodega. That shit was so cool. Yeah, that shit was dope. Yeah, we had a lot of fun shooting that. Green Vision was cool. That we loved that, and it was cool because we were even told when we were shooting it, we were thinking like, hey, we just wanted to show ourselves. We just wanted to be like, we didn't want it to be too grandiose. So, we didn't, because everything about us is all about being like unapologetically ourselves. So we just wanted to like show them a day of like what we would do or where we would hang out, what we would do. So it was just like all that stuff that you see, like even the car spinning out of control. That's a friend of mine. That's his BMW, who I watched him piece that together from so it's like all these things are just everything you see in Green Vision is authentic to who we are. There's not one thing that's staged. There's every person in that video is a personal friend. So it's like we just started, we built a community and we just want to show that community. and we want people to like feel and understand like what we're doing and what we're trying to bring to the table.
Yeah, you can feel the sincerity and the realness of it. And,
comes through for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy to hear that, because that's really what we go for, honestly. As long as people feel it, like, we're cool with that. Like, all this, anything extra, like NFTs and all this cool shit that's going on, is like, this shit's like icing on the cake. This is like super bonuses, man. You guys don't even understand. Like, me mere sitting here, I'm sitting here having a live stream about an NFT. If you asked me that like 4 weeks ago, I'd be like, no, that's not
Right.
What are you talking about? I'd literally be like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what NFT is. Like,
right. I'd love to tell
league?
you. Yeah, I'd love to tell you that like the weirdness and the shock goes away, but it doesn't. Like, I'm like 8 months. I'm 8 months deep into NFTs, and it just gets weirder. Like, it literally only gets more fucked up. So, welcome to the train. And like, we don't even know what's gonna happen with you guys. We just know it's gonna be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's so freaking excited, and they should be.
Hyped.
Right. And when we start doing the touring stuff, like the ideas you came up with, like, we started talking about QR codes. It's like, fuck it, I'm going to wear a shirt with a giant QR code that says scan me. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Do that shit. Like, the tour,
it's gonna be good.
You guys, this is going to change how musicians see touring, man. Like, seriously, literally, we haven't even like spread the word yet that this is happening. Like, this is happening so rapidly. Like, even when it happened and Twitter started lighting up, I was like, I didn't even know how to promote this. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to write. I was sitting here going, fuck, okay. So this stuff is happening is all I could come up with. NFT, pound NFT, look at this dope shit.
Basically.
Like, couldn't say anything else, because it's just kind of like, I feel like I keep telling anyone who acts, like, even management, everyone's stumped. Everyone's like, what? And our managers are like, and Vaughn and Kenny are like, they're fucking awesome, and they manage a lot of really big bands. So seeing, other than us, seeing this, Vaughn's like, what the fuck? Is this like really, like, what? Oh, literally every time I've opened up the email you sent after the first drop, I opened up the email a couple of times just to make sure I read it right. I was like, did I read this properly? Like, there's no way. Is there like some too many zeros in this scenario? What's going on? Is this a typo? This cannot be. Like, it was shorter than 48 hours.
Well,
nuts.
What's exciting is that the bigger you get, the bigger that gets, right? Because it's smart contracts, and they keep trading on the secondary markets. This is going to help fund your touring efforts forever, right? And we're
literally,
we're barely out of the gate, right? Just so the audience kind of understands the rollout of this. So we met D and the Oxymorrons crew and management just a little over 2 weeks ago, right? We had that conversation. We had this chemistry. It's just like instant rapport. And near the end of the conversation, I go, let's drop in 2 weeks, right? Let's just do it. You're like, okay. Yeah, what do you need? What do you need? Right?
It's like, hey, that giant American holidays, like, right in there, right? Yeah, we're like, fuck it. It can't possibly matter.
Oh, yeah, because management was like, oh, man, what about 4th of July? That might slow shit up, because when you release a song, things like that matter. Like 4th of July, what people's attention could be on other than what you're doing. And it was
I mean, play number 3, 4th of July, Green Vision. It's America. I mean,
it's like, and you're like, oh, we don't give a damn about that. Let's just roll. Let's just roll this thing that we have. And as a band, we were just thumbsing up. We had no clue what the fuck is going on. It's literally like, put a blindfold and trust them, and just walk me into this room.
And that's why you guys, I mean, not only the raw exceptional talent, but aside from that, you guys' willingness to be pioneers and to be first movers, that's good. That's going to pave the way for immense success for you guys. The fact that you're fearless and you're just, you're like, okay, let's do it. That's the warrior spirit. And it's already paid off, and it's going to pay off, much, much grander as the weeks and years go by. So you've got I think you got a single coming out in August. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. We have a single coming soon. It's a wild one too. I wish I could give you guys more details. Just know it's wild and it's attached to some wild shit. So it's gonna.
Can you whistle it for us or something?
No, there's no whistling. You're not getting me in trouble. Not getting me. I've been media trained, sir. You will not dupe me into answering questions I do not want to answer.
Yeah. So the next meeting we have, we're gonna, as a team, we're gonna have to define. We'll talk about where we're at and what has just happened, but also then talk about next steps and the future rollout, because we can, with NFTs, we can introduce a whole new rollout for singles, right? In such a way to where, you get maximum benefit from that as an artist, right? And show the industry a new way to roll out a single. So that'll be fun to talk about and explore and kind of define what that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, this, as I've sat the last few days and just really, really like think about this and what we're doing. This is really, really like, I hope you guys fully do, because you're the guys fucking doing it. That's dope as shit. I hope you guys realize how much you're about to change the music business for the better at that. Like, to be able to add something like this to a band's arsenal, to be able to say and negotiation power. Because right now, like literally, like every label, everyone who's been like already clamoring and like having conversations with us and wanting us to sign, and we're still completely indie, which is fucking amazing. You just kind of like gave us one of the biggest bargaining chips ever. Like, it's kind of like, oh, so remember that thing that you said you would do? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. You got kind of, if an artist can self-sustain, we don't have to sell things like our publishing or sell percentages of ourselves in ways that we would never do. And I think that's what the audience doesn't, a lot of fans don't realize. And we try to educate our fans as much as possible, letting them know, like, yo, stream us, do all these things, because all these things factor in as far as like, if bands don't exist if we can't generate finance. And the only way historically for bands to generate finance, especially earlier on, is to tour or sign to a label. And signing to a label comes with a lot of perks, but you also give a lot away. It's kind of like walking in the Shark Tank and having nothing, and then they give you that crazy ass percentage, and you're like, fuck it, I gotta do what I gotta do. And normally it's worse because they own a lot of that stuff, depending on what you sign in perpetuity or for such a long amount of time that it's just like, forget it. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why sometimes you'll hear some of your favorite artists say they hate their labels or they're slaves to their labels. It's more so for the fact that you really do sign everything away in some situations, unless you have the bargaining chips. So with this model, we'll be able to like make sure everything stays in our hands and like be able to not have the financial pressure, because it's never a creative pressure. It's never anything else but financial pressure when artists make bad decisions, right, for their careers moving forward. So you guys are about to alleviate that in a way bands have never seen.
Well, do you want to hear my green vision?
Yes.
Okay. So, I talked to one of our lead devs yesterday, and he's saying that the app, the Yoshi app, the streaming app, the playlist app, the earn Yoshi Bucks app, the use your phone number to log in and create an account app. You don't need to know anything other than your phone number app. Super frictionless. What we've produced with the Oxymorron miners, that's what went out first, is the promo miners. And today the digital vinyls are going out to the membership accounts. So that was geared more for the NFT ecosystem, right? When I said 2 weeks ago, let's do a drop, I didn't even imagine your fans being a part of that, unless it was just a happy accident, right? Come on in if you can figure it out, right? It's not so easy, but please, come on. But it was really hyper focused on the audience that we've built over time and the trust that we've built in our ecosystem to roll out this just hot band, right? Oxymorrons. And we just knew that they would love it, right? and they also see the vision of, you know, the designing the future of music that we're doing. We are, as a community, we're designing the future of music. Now, what does this look like with this technology? What does music in the future look like? So talking to my dev yesterday, he says, you know, I think this app is actually, and it's going to be a constant rollout, iterations and improvements. You know, it's technology. So, but he's thinking that the MVP app will be ready sooner than later, he said, because we've got the whole team kind of hyper focused on delivering this. So my green vision is having this app that is so frictionless for your audience to be able to come in with their phone number, establish an account, super easy. Congrats, you got your first Oxy drop. Click here. It goes into their wallet. They see their first Oxymoron NFT that was just given them for free for coming on in. And then they have the other options available to them. You know, if they want to dive in deeper and explore other Oxymoron drops and what the future holds. So that's going to be a super easy onboarding process for your fans to take. And once we engage your fans with our community, that's where fireworks are going to explode, because our community is going to kind of be the way showers for your, you know, community, and pretty soon it'll be just one community. So what I'm saying is that the results that we've proven just in 48 hours is just a drop in the bucket of what's coming, in my opinion. Once you're on tour, you've got your QR codes, you've got your fans, you know, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna go crazy to where you guys are gonna have a massive bargaining chip and define the healthy, balanced way forward for bands. And basically, you're gonna define the contract and the way that it looks that feels good to you and your entire team. And you go, this is what we agreed to, you know, instead of, hey band, this is what it is, sign here, right? We're flipping the script, because it's time for the creator to actually be on top, not for the creator going, you know, please master, give me another %, right? It's like, no, it's like, this is the way it is. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. Thank you. You guys get it, because it's so crazy. Like it's always wild negotiating for a little bit more of something you made. It's like, imagine building a house and then they're like, yeah, you could live in the bathroom.
Exactly. Not even the bathroom. I was gonna say, in the corner of the basement, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, see the little corner right here? You're good. Anywhere else, we could talk about it, but probably not gonna happen. And it's that's just kind of like what it is. So putting that power back into the artist's hand is what I'm most excited about. Like, yeah, it's awesome to be able to make finance. Yeah, but this is leaving legacy. This is having an impact on the world in an extreme positive way, because not only does the artist benefit, but this will also benefit the listener. Everyone, the fans, everyone involved will benefit in some sort of way. And if it's not financially, it'll absolutely be better music. As artists get more financially comfortable, that we tend to make, I know people like, the best art comes from pain. And the best art also comes from fun and full bellies and comfortable touring.
Right.
You know, you want to know why sometimes your favorite artist it doesn't jump out and get crazy on stage, is because he just spent 14 hours in a Sprinter van to get to this show. So it's kind of shit like that. This is gonna be really fucking awesome, and I'm glad to be with you guys pioneering this. Like, seriously, like I can't even thank you guys enough. Like, the band is just kind of like, I don't think you guys really realize, like, you walked in and changed every conversation we're having. Literally because it's just finance runs it. And we're just kind of like, we were literally negotiating so many things. And we're like, well, so now we kind of don't need to do that right there anymore. So we won't do that, actually. We won't. Thank you. We appreciate the offer. Things have changed, and yeah.
Love it.
I know M Blue is feeling exactly where I am right now. Like, how do we add another zero? Like, we're fucking shit up right now, but like, can we do it like way bigger? And honestly, like the second you guys go on tour, I keep thinking, okay, what we really learned from the initial YoshiDrops, where we dropped 1 million NFTs, right, is that you can build an entire business on giving shit away, which is really fun, right? The secondary market. Now you just go back to that list of NFTs that are out there, right? These core initial supporters or this population that now has these things. And we can say, okay, if you have these, then you can turn it into this. And we figure out some fun way. And of course, we have the memberships. We have a bunch of different things, right? So when you guys do this, so you do this entire tour, right? You got NFTs going out from each city. You got the QR code. You got all these, fun little things, whatever else we come up with over the course of 6 months, however long it is, right? And we're getting a bunch of these NFTs out there. At the end of the year, we create some kind of burn upgrade function or some kind of extra value for some kind of anything, all stuff we're messing around with, we're really good at anyway, right? And it's like a whole new swath of secondary market percentage for you guys as people who want this other thing, grab anything that's on the market that people just, have for sale or whatever. This is where it gets really messed up. That's only bigger every year, right?
That's crazy.
5 years from now, you've done whatever we've been messing around with for 5 years. Instead of like 100,000 NFTs for Oxymorrons, it's like 1.5 million NFTs for Oxymorrons out there because you guys have blown the hell up, right? And we give special access to one particular pre-sale for a tune, maybe, right? It could be anything. And all you need is to burn upgrade 10 comments from anything over the last 5 years. Secondary market goes fucking bananas. Right? And we can do that like forever. Right. So like and I think the reason why I personally get so excited about this now is that I'm just starting to learn how this is going to look years from now. Like we're just starting to experience it ourselves for the uplift. And obviously brainstorming ideas for you guys. It's gonna be bigger than we think. And like we're thinking as big as we possibly can. So like it just we also are excited.
And things are just getting warmed up on our end for touring too. So it's like we got 53 dates booked for the fall, and things are already starting to spill over into 2022. So like they always say timing meets opportunity, right?
Right.
That is fucking happening at the max right now. Like,
hell yeah.
You couldn't have met us at a better time, and we couldn't have met you at a better time. It's literally the best form of synergy I've ever seen. Like it's fucking nuts. It's that green vision, man. You see it. And what's so funny about like green vision, the whole point of the song is like green means go. Like whatever you want to do, whatever it is that is your vision, show it, do it, go it, be it, and just push. Green light all fucking day. And so like you guys come to us about this, like, yeah, we're gonna green light this shit. Let's fucking go. Why not? Let's do this. Like, and it's cool to just be crypto. And as I'm doing my research, it seems like the crypto community really, really mimics the live show community because they really believe in and support what they believe in. And that's why the live show forever has been a band's like literally that's your golden nugget. Like as long as you're live for your fans to come see you live, that's why bands like fucking like Metallica can rage forever. It doesn't matter what kind of album they're putting out. It doesn't matter if they're relevant. It doesn't matter if they got a top 100 song. That core fan base, when you got that core fan base and you come out and they will buy those tickets, that was your bread and butter. Now imagine combining that with this. Well, that's mind-blowing. That is literally mind-blowing. And for younger bands and any emerging band, this is a new light. It's literally a new path. So it's like, oh, you see that off ramp that used to be on this highway? No, we're gonna take this route. It's a lot safer. It's quicker, and let's take these new routes because music in the industry right now, especially, is the wild west. Anyway, it's all changing, and it's all changing because the world is changing, and we're proud to be in the forefront of that change. I'm hyped to be like when this shit becomes the thing, to be one of the bands to be like, yeah, the Oxys did the shit first. It's fucking crazy. I need that statement. I might put that on a shirt. Oxy did it first.
Love it. Love it.
Nailed
it.
And what I like about this for you guys especially is, you said it earlier, you're like concert band, you're a venue band, you're a band that gets your energy at that place, right? And going back in the day in the music industry with live concerts, yeah, you could stop at a table and buy a CD, but that probably half the time wasn't going to get home. And it didn't have a cool video that you guys created that was built into a baked-in NFT that could be scanned with a QR code right there at the table that was on the front of it. Like, none of that stuff existed. So, like, I'm not going to blow this crap up, but, like, what happens when some of these, live show NFTs become things, right? Like, what happens when all of this kind of stuff correlates together, when you can collect an NFT from every live show that you've ever been to. I mean, that brings a whole new ideology to, like, what it means to be a deadhead, right? Like for example, I mean, like, I think we're on the precipice of preface. I get words mixed up sometimes.
Precipice. It's all right. It's a little bad at dyslexia, but he means well.
Right, yeah, but it's something great. Anyway, yeah.
The other thing, I was just thinking about this. Like, people are going to start taking pictures of your shirts with the QR codes, right? And then posting them online so that other people can grab the because here's the thing. Like, I'm just realizing I'm a degenerate in this space. Like, the reason why I have so much fun is because I'm basically building stuff that Blue and I would both ape into ourselves, right? And so I'm just thinking, like, how do I get the ones from the shows that I can't make it to? I'll just find pictures, blah, blah, blah. Because what are the chances that we're going to create something that is hyper rare that you need literally every single one of the NFTs in your wallet to get dropped? Because that's something we can do, right? So now, like, I'm either going to have to get them or buy them. And, that sounds pretty fun.
There's going to be a whole market.
There's going to be whole markets for that, right?
Listen, and, like, I want to do shit like embed weird things into the artwork, and when you find that's a speed, like, because we did that, like, one of our live events that we did a private live event that was free. You could get in, but you had to look in there was like little, like, golden nuggets in the flyer, and you had to find them and figure out what they meant. And so fans would be, if you were a fan, that show sold out so quickly that if you were a fan, you were looking for these nuggets to get the little pockets of seats and, like, stuff like, so it's like stuff like that, little Easter egg hunts. And the way we could trigger that off into, like, rolling into NFC stuff is crazy. And I do a lot of call and response during live shows because I like to engage with the fans a lot. Like, I'm going to make us an NFT call and response. Like, you got to physically do something as part of a song, as part of, like, being engulfed into the performance. Like, we do stuff like that all the time. So it's like getting our fans to really learn this and react and jump into this ecosystem while learning from the like ecosystem you guys built, learning from the people within it. It's going to be nuts. It's kind of be kind of like this crossover of, like, oh my God, let me teach you this. Also, it benefits you, and we all can have Oxy madness. And we're always creating, so there's always something that'd be that, like, dude, all right. Sometimes when I'm on tour, I'll have you find me in cities. I'll bring my bike with me because I cycle, I ride a lot, and I ride through different cities. So I'll be like, hey, let's figure something to do with that. I don't know. We all do a lot of shit. Like, maybe I'll drop some more tie shorts and do some shit like that. Like, there's just so much. We're all into so much stuff. So this is going to be really, really fun, and it's a new way to engage with fans and get to know people and get to be a part of a very unique community, and a dope one at that. So I'm just like, yeah, this shit is cool. Like, there's a lot of shit that people think is cool. This is cooler.
Hey D, you need to add another band member, and this band member actually wouldn't play anything, but they'd be videotaping all those golden moments, right? Because that's all stuff that the collectors and the fans would love to have, right? Like this, it's the, like we were talking about the 5 seconds before going out to a big show. Like what are you guys talking about? Is there high fives? Is there a prayer? What is it, right? The fans would love to see that, right? That moment, or in the tour bus moment where somebody throws something out the window, and it's like, there's those moments that just are priceless, that only the band is privy to. But if the fans could have some insight into that, they would just gobble it up.
That. Yeah, because we do have a pre-show ritual that we do, like, right before we go on stage. Our tour manager comes out, Trey comes out, and, like, make sure that, hey, you guys got 5 minutes to get on. So we do our little prayer and our little chant, and no one, if you're not there, you don't know that happens. And so we will probably preview that, let people into that, because I know some people have heard that that's what happens, and some people are like, oh shit, what is that? And so we'll be like, okay, we'll be able to like jump into that NFT world, and you'll get to see it.
Well, and how powerful is that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big, and I sense from what you said earlier about frequency, right? And making in music frequency, if they work well and they harmonize, it's going to be good, right? So I believe this is life, right? Everything is frequency and intention. So I'm a big intention guy. Like I state, my intention, even before getting on this call this morning, I set my intention. So I'm a big intention person. So the fact that you guys have this intention before you go rock it, right? This moment of togetherness, and you're setting your intention, you're getting in your flow state. How powerful it would be to capture that on video, right? And giving that to everybody, right? Getting that intention out there. And so they're a part of that intention, even if it's a 15, 30 second window, right? How powerful would that be? I mean, I would sign up for that. Yeah,
I would sign up for that for some of my favorite artists. Absolutely, for sure. That's a guarantee. And that's the thing. The transference of energy in a live show is my favorite. That's literally my favorite thing. Performing gives you, like, you literally transferring energy with how many people, no matter how large the crowd is, that's happening. And so whenever that's happening, to be able to capture that is insane. Because most of the time I can't remember. There's this thing, and we call it the zone, where there's our pre-show prayer, our pre-show like, if I say it, you kind of will understand it, but our pre-show that we'll share on the NFT, and then we go on. The minute, literally, I'm normally nervous. The minute Maddie starts playing, because he's normally out there before us, the minute that goes, something clicks. I go out and do what I do, and then I wake up afterwards. I rarely remember what the fuck was done in that 45 minutes or whatever long hour set gap. I rarely remember it. Normally people like tell me like, oh, this happened, you did this, and you said this, and I'm like, oh shit, really? I'll watch a playback. So it would be really, really cool, even for me, to see some of this shit, because that's how I see like our shows. I normally like, oh, okay, I get it. One time a fan got on stage, and I didn't even remember that happened. I was just like, what? They were like, yo, remember when that fan jumped on stage and started dancing and da-da-da-da-da? And I'm like, a fan was on stage? And they're like, yeah, they was right fucking next to you. I'm like, oh shit. So I don't remember some of this stuff. So it'll be really, really cool to like have people react to that, because I just be in the zone, man, because I don't know, it's that flight or fight. And it's that kind of response when I hit the stage. So I'm nervous, and then I just go, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna choke. This ain't 8 Mile. Like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Let's go out there and put this show on. Like, seriously, like, you just got, it's either you do it or you don't, and I'm gonna do it kind of person. I'm like, well, might as well. So this is gonna be really, really interesting. This is gonna be dope. And we say weird shit to each other on stage too. So somebody could catch a sound bite of like, oh shit, like fans don't realize shit goes wrong. We just don't show it. So like one time, Maddie, like I could hear on my in-ear, Maddie's metronome is off. So he doesn't know what the fuck is going on, but he's literally humming the song in his head, and he's staying. And I turn, and we got this look that we give each other when something's going wrong. I'm like, oh, something's wrong. And at the point, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong yet. But we're all having a conversation. So I caught on. So now my job is to let my brother and Jafe know something is wrong with Maddie, and we got to figure out how to fix it fast. So I start to look into the crowd, because I got to make eyes with our tour manager. If I can make eyes with our tour manager, Trey, he can get a stage check. So I look at Trey, and I just give him the look like, he's like, you see him bolting across, coming around, and he ends up fixing the issue. But this all happens in the middle of a song while we're playing, and Maddie played the entire fucking song without hearing shit. He didn't miss a drum, nothing. There was no metronome. His in-ear went out. He's just like, he was like, oh shit. oh shit, all I remember was the last thing I heard, and the song goes like this. So I'm gonna play until it's over.
Oh, no.
So that shit happens. So it's stuff like that is happening. And if someone can document something like that and catch that, it'll be insane.
I like it. It's like sanctioned, decentralized MTV meets paparazzi, and you get to decide what goes on.
Oh my god, MTV meets paparazzi. That's actually really fucking cool. Paparazzi.
Yeah,
that's the part of success I don't want. I don't want paparazzi.
No, but if you get to put those moments out there that you appreciate, you enjoy, that the fan base would like be able to connect with you because they know this is who you are as individuals, as people, and how you play, and they've been to those concerts, and they don't even know about it, but now they're looking at this NFT, or they're looking at this production that you put out, and they're like, oh shit, I've seen that look, I've experienced that, right? Like that.
And they might know
an NFT called The Look.
The look, imagine that. Could you imagine that catches wind? So when we make certain faces, they're like, wait a minute, the song's playing well, but something's wrong. Look at his face.
And the crowd would start to react whenever they'd see the look. And it would become like, if a mistake was made, it would actually be an awesome thing. Because he would be like, yes, it happened.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too, is like being able to do that is kind of like it breeds into the fact that we're still human, man. Like as much as we rehearse these songs, as much as we know our shit, shit happens. Sometimes I'll like forget a lyric and I'm like, oh shit. That's another face moment. I'll look at my brother, he'll be in the midst of a hook or midst of something, and I'm like, no, because my part's coming, and I kind of don't remember what I'm got to say right now. And we're just like, and I'm like, 5, 4, 5, 3. What is that opening line? And it just hits you, open line, boom, go. And it's just, that's happened so many times where it's like, I was like 3 seconds from, I'm about to miss this whole line.
Dude,
it's gonna be that.
Turns into muscle memory. Back when I was a cover musician, I played a lot of Jack Johnson down on the beaches in Florida and stuff. And I would get halfway through a Jack Johnson song and be like, I don't know what words I just fucking sang at all. Like I know what's coming next. And then it just shows up, like, because you do it so many times that it just becomes like, it's not even muscle memory, it's in your brain. But you're like, oh, well, that's what the word is. But you literally, if you throw right, like 2 seconds ahead of it, you're like, no clue what's about to happen at all. And then it just does. You're like, well, that worked out.
That's so ridiculous. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of moments. There's gonna be really, really cool shit. And yeah, I'm really, really stoked. We're excited about this. And even I saw somebody ask about how is this gonna change our how we interact on our socials. Absolutely. Like realistically, now I feel like I have something to talk about on socials majority of the time, instead of just, hey, band stuff. We can just kind of open up and be different and get our fans to engage and interact with something that's just out of the scope. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. And now I'll actually jump on TikTok because I don't really like to do dance videos. It just, I don't know.
And also,
I got a small waist, pretty face, and I don't know how many times I've seen that video.
What I was going to say is that, also you can, really engage with your fans, once they understand this ecosystem and they really see the opportunity and how it will enable you, they're going to totally, I think, freak out with the one. They can get something that they can own, that's a collectible, that actually does something that they can, buy, sell, trade 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to a global audience.
Yep.
Right. They can help you when you're in your socials and engaging with them. They can help you define and design the future of music, right? Like really bring them, what do you guys want? Like what is, what is it that we should be doing next? Like, what do you want to see? And start helping them shape the narrative, shape the future, because that's really what I'm seeing. We're seeing the Spotifys of the world and the record labels really pushing, this is how it's going to work. This is how it's going to look, right? But the new paradigm is the creators, the artists, and their fans who support them, right? Because this doesn't exist without this, right?
Exactly.
It takes this for this, right? So now we're shaping how the band and its fans shape. This is what the artist and the fans want, right? This is what it looks like, so the more that you can engage them and empower them, right, because even their great memes of Oxymorrons, right, those can become NFTs.
Yeah,
you can run those through Oxymorrons and then reward them. Hey, we just sold 10,000 of your memes. Like, here's your cut, and they're gonna freak out, right? Like, holy shit, right? You give them the mint one or whatever, right? It's like, there's a win. There's a way forward here for this. That's why we call it the win-win-win economy, right? It's because with this technology and this way forward, everyone can win, from the artists to the organization that's making it happen to the fans, all coming together and creating something that's truly for everybody, and everybody's winning. In the Yoshi app that's coming up, because they've got Oxymoron miners, they're earning Yoshi bucks, which they can do things with. They can buy those exclusive Oxymoron digital vinyls in the marketplace where you can only buy them with Yoshi bucks. There's other use cases coming for the Yoshi bucks as well that will help enable the fan and empower them. So it's just awesome. So yeah, when you're out there engaging with the fans, really bring them along for the ride to help you shape the future of music.
Exactly. And even when we dropped, I was literally stuck like, oh, these guys are doing all the work. I was telling Mike this, and I'm like, can I post this on Instagram? Should it live there? Should it not live there? There was just so many questions. I was like, what can I actually do with this? Is it against the rules? What are the crypto laws? Let me figure life out. Let me figure this shit out, because I'm like, it's so new to me that I have no clue whether I'm doing it right or wrong.
The more you share it everywhere, the more money you make. So it's just, don't hesitate sharing anything.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Because literally, and someone's like, this is fun seeing D really had no idea how huge it is. Yes, I really have no idea. No fucking clue. It's like I've been under a rock and somebody tripped on said rock and moved it. And then I came out like, oh shit, what's going on, world? I'm just feeling in my bubble trying to get this band to move. Damn, what are you guys doing? NFTs? Wow. Like that.
Hey man, like to be fair, like 3/4 or more of the people in this market have no idea how it works. So you're totally okay.
And confirmed.
Good.
I mean, I like the idea. Like, I want to see what you guys do with it, because you seem like a really interesting person to me. Like, I would love to see, so we're doing this thing right now in the Uplift world where like people can go buy and we're doing like an Easter egg kind of treasure egg thing, right? Imagine if we Pokemonified like D's cycle journeys, right? Like what happens when all of your fans are like following you on the road, right? Like going and looking like, they're crashing their bikes into the gutters because they're looking for QR codes on the side of the road, right? The next time you go to the bodega shop in Queens, there's a sign outside that says, please order as many sandwiches as you want, but quit asking to come in our back room because there's no QR code there, for fuck's sake, right?
Or there is.
Or there
is. Listen,
it's going to be like Forrest Gump, where he goes running. You're going to have everybody kind of following you from city to city, just jogging after you.
That would be so dope and so that would be nuts. That would be so nuts. You made me think of I use this app called Strava. It kind of maps out all my rides and everything that I'm doing. So, but it's like a community. So you can actually follow Strava and know the routes and see what the routes are. So that could be a really my mind starts thinking like, wait a minute, I could just set up a whole ride and then we could just have like specific little nuggets throughout the entire ride. And just if you find them, you open these NFT nuggets and you get to mine them. That would be so, and this is what I mean. It's like, we feel like the possibilities is endless. As a creative, my mind's always thinking of like, okay, what can we do? And this gives me endless opportunity to be like, oh, let's create, let's share, let's engage. And it's going to be so, I'm so hyped. I was already hyped for tour. I'm over the top hype now for tour. Like, this is gonna be stupid. Like, we might end up leaving nuggets in cities after we leave, and you find them after we're gone. Like, I want to do the craziest shit like that.
It would be so cool. Like, take that bike idea and then have like the band set up somewhere, and people have to like follow you to find the show, and you show up and you hop on stage.
That would be cool. That would be dope. Did something like that in Toledo, but it wasn't a bike idea. It was more so I was running that late, and then the band was already ready to go. And I'm like at the bar down the block, and I could hear our intro music, and I go, "Oh shit, what time?"
Out of the flash mob, D springs from the crowd onto the stage. I'm here.
Literally pushed through security. Didn't even come in from behind stage. I came in from the front. I was like, "Oh shit!" Stumbled in. So just in the nick of time. Yeah, we're always wilding. We're always wilding. And I tell people too, don't buy me shots. Go buy some NFTs. Like that's because that's another thing fans like to do. They like to buy you shots after your set. I'm like, no, I can't drink anymore. Like, please help. The amount of times I've been like, "Yay!" You gotta think, like you get down there, and I like to say hi to everybody. I like to talk, and I like to be involved. I'm not the dude who likes to sit backstage and think I'm too cool for the people who actually got me here. I really like to come out and hang out with the fans. I don't care who you are. Let's chill. But then when you're at that bar and you got like 15 fans and they're all buying you a shot, you now are sitting in front of, you're about to take 15 shots in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. So I'm like, well, one, and you're trying to keep counting. Yeah, how much did I take? Oh shit. Okay, if I have already 7 shots, that means in an hour from now I'll be incoherent. So I need to start dumping these. I need to stop dumping these. I need to dump these. So and fuck shots. Give me some NFTs. Go get yourself something that helps all of us and not destroy my bladder. Thank you. Well, I would appreciate that.
If you ever make it to Japan, I'll buy you some sushi. That's
Oh, you know what's so funny? That's one of my dream trips. Japan is one of my dream trips, and we're supposed to we were supposed to, but things got shut down. We were supposed to play Fiji Rock Fest, so I want to really get back on that wave. And
God damn it! If you come play Fiji Rock Fest, let's I live in Japan, so let's do this show live at Fiji.
Jimmy's head.
I'm just gonna leave now.
Show over.
If that offer swings back around, which I'm pretty sure it will, because we got the offer and we're a lot bigger now than we were when we initially got the offer. We were not quiet during pandemic. We decided to be really loud and ridiculous because we had time on our hands. What else are we gonna fucking do? Let's make some music and make some noise. So yes, we will be in Japan and we will rage the hell out and we will absolutely do this. This is you. Oh my God, you have no clue. You do have a clue. You fucking started this shit. You gave me the clue that I have. Before I had no clue.
Well, hey, D, what's really exciting me is, when we spoke, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday we spoke, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, your enthusiasm and your willingness to just be that pioneer and, being creative force as you are, and we're creative forces, bringing all of those ideas to the table. I mean, we're, now that the band is completely, this last 2-week sprint to get this out there was basically to show you guys this is real and it can help you guys excel, right? So now that we've got you and the band, like, holy shit, yeah, okay, so what do you need from us, right? With that kind of attitude, we're going to blow this shit up.
Yeah.
And, it's my hope for you guys is that you don't sign some stupid deal before your tour is over, right? Because by the time your tour is over, I think you're going to be in a completely different stratosphere. And you're going to have all of the bargaining chips and power that you'll need to probably sign the best, most lucrative deal ever in history.
It becomes a really interesting challenge for the labels, right? Like, whatever label wants to pick you up, and that's going to be, hold on, let me check my notes. All of them. They're going to have to figure out, okay, what is the actual value add proposition? What can we, the label, bring to the table as aggregators of opportunity and connections? Because it's not like they don't have value to add, right?
Yes, they do.
But now they have to be really, really competitive. And that just makes like that. Both my nipples are hard right now. Like that's a little
Yeah.
awkward. I admit that's awkward, but it's real.
It really does. It does it in a unique way. Like a lot of people talk about like the Macklemore success, how he was able to do what he did on his own without a major label being involved, and that's because he had an investor that helped him financially be able to hire everyone that would work a label project. So when you see something like that, it's like, hey, if we have the money, because we know who does what. If I could hire ADA, if I could do this, we know the radio programmers. We like, these things. It's just, do you have the finance to jump in and say, hey, I'm here? If you have that, then it makes it's somewhat depending on the connections of the band's team, the manager, because you build a team around you. Depending on that, it makes a label obsolete, especially in this world. It's kind of like giving a percentage away to your business for no reason. So like you said, we got to come in there now with this. As we blow this up, this will change the conversation completely. It's like, really, why go in business with you? Because that's what it is. It's a partnership. I create this, and traditionally a label would help you get it to the masses. When you consider the internet and you consider how the world has just changed, and in this, now you've given a band to be able to have finances to say all these connections, all these people we like, who we already know. And we could just cut the middleman out. Like literally, you've cut the middleman out. Like, okay, you go sit over here. I'm gonna speak to them directly, and we're gonna pay for what we need without having to sell ownership of these things that we created. And that's what you do when you sign to a label. You trade your ownership for access. And now it's just like, no, how about we just go this way and always have ownership and always move the way we want, and not have some dude, I'm sorry, who has a 38th floor syndrome is what I like to call it, and it hasn't been on the ground level in years telling you what's cool, what's not. Not even speaking to the people. They have no clue what the pulse of anything is, and they're telling you these things. And for the most part, we got to kind of play ball. Now we don't got to play that game. There's no reason. You guys really, you have blown my mind in the last 72 hours. Like I'm sitting here going, like, wait a minute. I had a whole game plan. Our management team had a whole game plan. We were ready, bro. We were setting up our rehearsals for the summer, about to go on our tours. Our rollout plan was being made for song releases, talking to radio, and we like, yeah. And then you guys came in through a fucking just a bomb on top of that shit. Like, oh shit, okay, maybe we could do it this way then. let's actually, those 7 things that we said we needed, we only need 2 of them. And it's amazing. Like, we're just thinking of everything differently now. So the way the fans are going to feel the tour will be different now too. Everything, because we're going to add to the live experience. We believe in our live experience so much, we invest in it. And you gave us an opportunity now to invest more in our live show. So it's going to be, this is going to be nuts. And I don't know if any label heads or dudes that rock with us or pay attention to everything that we're doing, you A&Rs and your interns, the game has changed. I know some of you have sent paperwork. You're going to need to take that back and figure it out, because it's going to be real different.
It's a new day. And you know what? I mean, the labels, they don't need to be afraid of this, right?
No.
Exactly.
This is an avenue where they can win too, right? And in a different way. It's kind of like this is the record company's MP3 moment once again. It's called NFT. Now the labels, they totally got screwed. They didn't engage when the MP3 came around, right? That's when the Spotify's, using that as a metaphor, came in and owned that space, right? And now even the labels are bowing down to the Spotify's, right? Saying, feed me, please feed me, right? So the labels have an opportunity now to redefine. What I'd recommend to the labels is to unite, is to see what happened with the MP3. They're still all duking it out amongst each others, while the tech giants came in, watched these little children playing, and said, okay, keep doing that while we deliver, this, right? And so then they woke up, holy shit, who owns me now? Spotify owns me now. So, right. So this is their MP3 moment once again. And if we can help them, YoshiDrops can help them redefine the future. We've got a game plan. We have a way forward. where the labels can reinvent their business strategy and win, right?
Yeah.
Either they're going to change their model and win, or they're going to just phase out, right? Just like the record stores did. Same thing. There is there is a path forward for everybody. That's why we call it the win-win-win, right? And so they don't need to be scared. They just need to be proactive.
Yeah, and I think they should be proactive. Like, it's just like you said, labels really lost when the MP3 shifted and they didn't move with it. It's not always a good idea to swim against currents. And this is a current you probably shouldn't swim against. And I just think if labels are smart, they'll jump on this before bands. To tell you the truth, even with their models, if they jump in quick enough, they'll be able to ride with bands and not against them. And I think if the ecosystems becomes where we're all working together and it's all one ecosystem, that would be incredible, because it can be that. It doesn't have to be as disproportionate and imbalanced as it is. That's an old model. That's an old design. That's an old world. And we don't need to, like, okay, cool, we don't got to cry over spilled milk. Let's spill into the future together and let's build this thing and let's do it the right way. And because if not, they're the ones who are going to lose the most. As they did with MP3s. They fought the MP3 tooth and nail, and now look. So it's
man, I keep going back to that first conversation we started having around this, and Blue. Like, they're either going to have to really aggressively sort this out and figure it out and become a moving force in it, or they're gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, like, I think Spotify and Google are fucked too, right? And so, like, figuring out, like, when you see them flip, it'll be interesting to see if these two technological, titans as companies, to see if they see what's coming. Like, basically, I'm curious to see which company sees it first, right? And by then, like, YoshiDrops is going to dominate and won't matter. But who knows? And the thing, we don't even have to dominate. We probably won't, right? We're just going to be like, pretty good, probably. But
we'll dominate.
I honestly, we're probably going to dominate. I just want to, like, all right, we'll see. But also, yes.
Don't worry, sometimes you got to have a little bit of confidence, Like,
I mean, our worst case scenario is already 100 times bigger than I ever would have thought. A month ago. So, like,
you got to channel a little bit of your inner Kanye. Don't go too far, because you see where that goes.
Yeah. Easy to get wrong.
Yeah, but just by having record labels do a fair deal, I mean, that's a win-win-win. I mean, like, we all win here, even if they end up getting the upper hand again monetarily in terms of, like, creating these deals and signing people. I mean, just kind of forcing the world to be a better place in order to make money. That's kind of a good thing. We just game theory society into having to play along a little bit. Exactly. It's like you said earlier, you've got all these creators kind of praying to the record company gods, but in the real model for just life in general on Earth, you have, it's kind of the other way around. The creators are the ones that get prayed to. You don't have God on his knees nailing to, like, in front of humans, like, you have this ultimate power, this creative force. It should be respected, or it's going to be reckoned with in some way, shape, or form. And, like, this is that reckoning that's probably been sitting there, like, waiting forever. It's like saying, if you don't make a fair deal and just take all this profit that's just sitting on the table, just by being fair, like, you're going to go away forever.
Yeah, that's a great point, Nathan, because we're now in a paradigm to where we're putting the creators on top where they should have been the whole time, right?
Absolutely.
They've been at the bottom, scrambling for the crumbs this whole time. And I understand that too, as a musician and a composer. Like, I've seen pennies from streaming fees, like, literally penny. Like, I'll get a check for like $1.69, literally, for thousands of plays, right? And it's so small. It's like you just don't even mess with it. It's like I don't even want to think about it, right? It's like
it's almost worthless. Sometimes you look at the streams, and so fans know, like, depending on where it dropped, the platform, because each page is different. Like, the game is so nuts. Like, for 1 million streams, you probably come home with like $3,000, maybe.
Yeah, it's just Yeah.
And the band has to split that. The label has to split that. Your legal is splitting that. Everyone is splitting that. So imagine that. And then you come home with your little $3,000, depending if your streams aren't astronomical, you don't make money. And even then, it's wild. People don't even realize. Like, let's take a song like Uptown Funk that Bruno done. That was a massive record. Bruno made $40,000 off of that record.
Yeah. See, when we were doing research for this, Taylor Swift last year got $500,000 for all Spotify plays, period. Right. And we're like, well, what if we could make Oxymoron $500,000 in the first year of them doing NFTs, which is like not even crazy. Right. And so then we go around and like, well, and everyone will show up after that. Right.
Exactly.
And what we're looking at, and because it just, that model is gross and dead and stupid and dishonors the creative spirit. And so, we're not going to fight them. We're just going to build them out of being relevant.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's so true. We all know people, like all of us here know people that made more from just staking NFTs than Taylor Swift did from Spotify. And that's crazy.
Think about what you just said.
That's legit.
Nuts.
It is legit.
Super fucked up.
We know like at least 10 people.
Oh, it's wild, and I'm really excited because as an artist, we try to figure out bottom lines. We try to go, okay, how long can we survive? How long can we do this in the ways that we do it? Because at the end of the day, it's not like we just eat and live in a studio. Like, we have bills, we have apartments, we have we have things we have to cover for life. And
you want vacation also.
Yeah, and it seems like, because touring ain't vacation as much as y'all think, because you're in that city max 12 hours max, and that's a lot. High max, So when you think about it, it's like, hey, we just want to be able to survive off the things that we create. Most artists don't want to be like over the top megastars, or we just want to be able to create art and be able to make a living off of creating art. And the business, the model that the business follows now doesn't allow for that. So I really love the disruptors. I like to call them disruptors, like Spotify and everybody, even though Spotify disrupted for themselves. Only the tech gurus in that space make the money. The artists, once again, are always at the bottom of that. When they're talking about revenue and the splitting and the sharing of revenue, the creator is always at the bottom of the totem pole. And we're like, well, we made the song.
That's mine.
Yeah, like literally, like none of you dudes in suits could have made this record. Like, you guys don't think like this. None of you guys, that's why you're on that side of the table. But then we like, what? It's like telling your chef, like, so I don't care if you're a great cook. Like, what? Can I do something? And then I'm always so sick of begging, and and you kind of just learn to put your head down and work your ass off in the touring space in order to even that out. And it rarely ever evens. And this didn't even it out. It legit shifted it. Like, this isn't even anymore. This is like, oh no, we can be over here. And like you said, we don't need to fight you guys. We're just over here, I know you guys are going to like what's over here. So you'll come over here in a little bit, but we're just over here. You keep doing what you're doing if that's what you choose. How long you can do that? Not very long.
You're not burning bridges. We're building bridges. Like, that's the truth here.
Exactly. That's the super truth. Exactly. Yeah. So I love that model too. The mere fact that I've learned, like, energy always has a place. And you don't need to clash with energy. Sometimes you just need to move it. It has a destination. And if that destination isn't for you, you just move away from that energy and let that energy go achieve what it needs to achieve. And that's what we're doing. Labels model, the model now has its own energy, and it has things it has to do and achieve. It's just not part of what we're doing. And I truly believe that what we're doing is going to change the face. It's already happening. Like, it's changed our band in such a small amount of time that I can't imagine what it's going to do to the music business. Like, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. It's really, really going to be nuts. Like,
it seems to me like that's the power of bringing NFTs to the music industry, because as Blue and as you alluded to as well, D, it allows the creators to retain ownership, and the creators won't always be the band themselves, right? Like some bands will employ other means of creativity and other singers and other people, right? So it's almost like the potential for balancing the whole thing out and coming up with like a contract that suits all people involved on an equal playing ground. I mean, because if you have someone like yourself who is a creator of music, who is a creator of lyrics, who is a creator of songs, and then you employ someone to sing a song for you. I mean, that can play into the back end as well, right? Like whereby that singer is getting a proportion, but not necessarily the whole thing, right? So it's not a drastic swing away from these labels that are in every case, right? Because and I think that's might be an unpopular position, but I'm not trying to buck the horn here, but like I do kind of feel like it's better for bands who are creative and feel like they have to sell their souls to the industry, but it also keeps the standard of creators being in retention of ownership perpetually for what they create, and it kind of focuses on that. I could be wrong because I'm not a musician and I sing only in the shower to myself, but yeah, that's what
the shower is all start. You know what I like to call the shower? The shower is the original reverb.
You get your best ideas in the shower.
Dude, what? You know how many times I've been on stage looking at people sing lyrics back? I'm like, man, I wrote that taking a shit. This is great.
I sold a piece of artwork for $40,000, and I made it on the toilet.
Think about that. Yeah,
yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm literally shitting money. No? Yeah, dude, it's insane. It's funny. That's your best ideas is when you're just checked out. Like even driving is a good example. How many times you've had to pull over the car and be like, oh shit, I got to write this down like now. Because you're never gonna get it back. Somebody else you're gonna see that idea on TV in a week or something if you don't write it.
That's so true. That's so true. But yeah, man, it's a new frontier. As a band, we challenge genres. That's what we sought out to do. We went in and said, hey, you can blend any genre you want, and you can do it, and it works. And it was proving it. We spent a lot of time proving it, and people see it now. And so this is another version of that. We're going to prove to them that this model works. We're going to prove to the industry that there are different ways to go about things. Because you know how many engineers be like, no, you can't put an 808 on top of a da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, actually, you can. And Green Vision shows you can. Because we're literally doing it. You don't need to. Rock doesn't have to be all highs. It can be a good mixture of highs and lows. You just gotta get the dBs right, sir. Don't low end doesn't have to bleed everywhere if you control it. And
absolutely.
that's where we're at. So this is what you guys are saying. You guys are pretty much saying like, hey, you can be on the road, you can have ownership, you can be super creative, and you can have a lucrative career without having to sell yourself completely. And I don't know who would say no to that. I don't know an artist that would say no to that. Because if they do, I'd be like, you're all right, bro. Like,
yeah, you're not an artist.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And then if they don't, I'll be like, what do you know that we don't know?
Yeah, you're either a wolf in sheep's clothing or you know a secret.
You got a secret that we all clearly don't know anything about. Please let us in. Let us into the club.
Hey, D, I've got to run because I got another meeting that I got to be at. But hey, I sent you a text, and you can just give us a facial expression of how that's going to help the tour.
A facial expression of how this is going to help the tour.
Well, I sent you a text. I don't know if you got access to it.
Take a look at the text. Yeah, you don't even say anything about it. Just read it.
I don't even have my phone. My phone is all the way. My phone is upstairs. Upstairs.
Well, let's just say the tour just got better.
Oh my God! How, Sway? How? You don't have all the answers.
You're gonna be live from the moon. That's how.
Live from the moon. Yeah, we're just gonna hire SpaceX to take us up there for a show. No big deal.
Yeah, real quick, the album's something light. Yeah, something light, real quick. We just go to space, come back real quick.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Easy. Extra NFT money. It's fine.
We really got to change that intro video before we put him on the rocket, though. That's not a good look.
Sorry, I know what you're talking about.
All right, guys, I got to jump. D, it's been an honor. Thank you for joining us today. You guys continue to hang out, but I got to jump, unfortunately. Much love.
I love you, man.
Yeah, I got to chat, dude. D, will you come back like a bunch?
Yeah. Please, let's pull up. I'll pull up all the time, and then I'll bring the rest of the guys with me. We're all ridiculous, like so.
Yeah,
having all of us in here,
it'll be crazy.
It'll be crazy, and just realize, like, you see the energy I have, and how I'm like, yeah. Now times that. Just explode that in, and all four of us were ridiculous.
I feel threatened with a good time right now. So here's the thing, you guys, because you guys are going to be dropping, little NFTs, little hints, all that stuff all the time, right? You're always going to have an extremely receptive audience with everybody who watches the Uplifter show. So that'll be fun. And now that I'm thinking about it, actually, there's a few people that I'll introduce you to as well that'll amplify that. Our ecosystem. It'll just be great to have you back, man. Because I think the amount of ideas you guys are going to have in this space is going to be awesome for you guys, but I think it's going to be inspiring for the rest of the people in our ecosystem as well, right?
And you know what I'm going to do? We'll bring special guests too that you won't even know that'll just be in the room, especially at these festivals. We're going to have access to a lot of shit. So
it's funny because Corey and I do this like every day, and I was just thinking before you said that, I was like, maybe the next signer for YoshiDrops, D can come on and he can be like, the man in the chair that asks all the tough questions, right? Like I would love to have you like as a regular part, like as a forerunner, as a person who went through it, like, because you guys jumped in with both feet, right? Like that's what I do. Like, I dive in from the highest possible place I can find, because at least if I hit the bottom, I'm gonna hit the bottom smiling. Right.
Exactly.
But not all people do that, and so you guys must have had like some thoughts or some like, worries. And so like to be able to tell that story, to be able to, answer those questions for other artists or other musicians and to be on air and talk to them about like, holy shit, can you believe that we just did that, and share those experiences that like I myself or our audience have an experience, like that would be really cool too. So
that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. We absolutely
like
down for that.
Unplugged style, like an acoustic performance from the couch. That would be cool too.
We could do that, and then it'll probably happen anyway, because we randomly break in the song for any given reason. Like you might say something, and then it just someone else says something, and then that gets turned into a song.
Just come on our show. We'll make all the NFTs just from that. We'll just clip parts of the show out. I messaged them Blue already, and basically like D's like a highlight reel for why everyone's gonna want to get on YoshiDrops. Like we're just gonna cut like every other thing that you said out of this show, put it on Twitter and blow up. Like that's all we're gonna need to do. So if we're just
gonna go crazy. And then I'll bring the rest of the assholes with me. That's why we call each other. We're assholes, and we love each other, but we're assholes to each other. That's how true love.
That's how good friends are.
Comes from a really good level of hate. So
this is how bands. This is like high science. To anyone who ever sees this, in a band, this is the way to do it, right? This is how to be hanging out together 20 years from now.
Yeah, you got to give each other shit. You got to like violate each other's private space. You got to do all the things wrong to the point where you hate to love each other. And then that love blossoms in such a way that you've never seen. So that's what being in a band is. You become inseparable, and because you hate each other so much that you love each other.
The feelings are so strong, you can't live without them.
Nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you were 13 and you first realized your mom's an asshole.
Like the volatility in the crypto markets. You love it because that means that we're going to go back up and something cool is going to happen. And the downtimes. I like to think of it like Jackass, like the movies and the show.
That's one of my favorite movies. Are there downtimes in crypto? Like, does crypto have a down spiral? Does it how does this thing fluctuate? Like that? Like,
we're kind of in a down now, isn't it?
Sort of. Not really. It's sort of an interim. So did
you see my face? You said we're down right now.
Well, yeah, down.
But it's true though, right? And again, this is sort of, we're in a lull in a bull market right now, right? And other people will argue they're all fucking wrong. That's we're still technically in the larger Bitcoin cycle for this time. And I think Bitcoin's going to recover and gain all new highs or whatever, probably towards the end of this year, which is normal, right? The Bitcoin cycle runs in 4-year cycles, and the rest of the market just kind of apes along behind it. Now, I think that NFTs are gonna ignore it, right? because by the time the next downturn, we call it crypto winter, the next crypto winter starts in probably next year, right? This group, this collaboration is still just going to be getting warmed up. And we're going to do something that we've done with Legend already, which is our parent company. We're going to have credit card payments for NFTs. So, you know, like people that don't own Bitcoin yet, they don't give a fuck about the price of Bitcoin at all. No. And that's most of the people that like video gaming. That is most of the people that like the Oxymorrons. So when crypto goes into its downturn, there is a real significant probability that we're still going to be speeding up. Which,
and the beauty, and the beauty of that is you use a credit card to buy an NFT that sits in your account. What happens to that NFT when we're not in the downturn? What happens to that NFT and the value of it when it goes up? What happens to the secondary market fees? Because it is a C of goodness. What happens to the secondary market fees? Associated to that when it explodes again, because it does go in cycles. So.
It's so incredible. It's like literally, I'm just like, damn, I'm here and I'm happy, and I'm gonna scream this shit to the mountaintops. But like I'm ridiculous. I have a very loud voice. Wait till you see me perform. It's a little bit of a different person.
Dude, I can't wait to see you guys. And Blue and I talk about it all the time. Like, we're super excited about that. All right, I gotta roll pretty soon. D, thank you so much for coming on. Nathan, thank you for coming on too, man. You're welcome to join us whenever the hell you want. Your wisdom is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna pen you guys in for like sometime real soon, before you leave or just after you leave. That would be good. You got to go too as well, D. You're gonna do some martial arts thing. Like, I usually do a chop at the end of the show, but now I'm kind of embarrassed because, like, I don't know. Let's do one together. 1, 2, 3.